Hey everyone, Sawmill Charlie. Welcome to another Friday night bee chat. Hey Nancy and Clay, Mike, and we got Michael from 21st Bees. We got Keith, and I knew I seen Roy. Hey Roy, and Danny, and there's Kim. I know we had Darren there. He's mowing his grass. Hurry up, Darren. We'll go ahead and drop the link in. Let everybody in. Anybody wants to come in, pin the message. There it is at the top. And there's Brian from Colorado. Hey, Chris. So hopefully everybody has survived the week. It's been hot and humid here most of the week. Today actually was very nice. Low humidity. And Brian's cutting lavender for the Lavender Festival this weekend. That's cool. I'm sure the bees like that. And here's Todd from out there in California, driving home right now and all that. And then Clay there, he was down to North Carolina and giving out some free bees for some beekeepers that lost their hives in the big flood. I guess he's back in town. Hey, Stephen. And all right, I guess Michael, 21st Bees, you're what, North Carolina right now? Or South Carolina at the show? I think it is. I believe that's where it was. Either North Carolina. Yeah, was it Flat? I was last weekend, Flat Rock. I guess it's in the South. Yeah, it's the South Carolina. Yeah, South Carolina. Bee State Bee Club or Bee Show down there, close to Columbia, I think. Somewhere's in that neighborhood, close to Bob Walker where he lives. I do know that, within driving range. 100 plus indexes. You can have all that heat and humidity down there. Nope. ADC. He went, DC went and tried to do a split and pulled out a honey super. Well, that's good. Always good to have more honey. Well, let's see. What have I been doing this week? Last week, I went through all my highs. Now, I got to update this picture probably tomorrow. And I checked on all my hives, made sure they were queen right. And the ones that weren't queen right, I happen to have some, hey, Jack and Danette, and happen to have some queens in my back pocket, as I would say. Hey, Dinah. Yeah, it cooled off today for sure, Dinah. I want to try to maybe do some mite treatments here this week. And hey, Bill.
How you doing?
All right. Cooler today and has been.
Yeah, it rained a lot today too down here.
No, it didn't. It sprinkled here about 4:30 today, and that was it. Yeah. And that was just, and I can only see it sprinkling. I heard it either on the tin roof or I seen it on the pond.
Yeah, it's been kind of sporadic down here and everything, but it did rain here this afternoon, and we got about a quarter inch.
Hey, Kyle.
It's raining now. It's like drizzling now.
Oh yeah, no, it's not doing a thing here.
So we've had a lot of good rain today.
So just yeah, I don't know. Just checking out Kyle here, all his videos and stuff. But no, we haven't done anything here. It just got low humidity today here. At least it was tolerable. Last 3 or 4 days, well, ever since Monday. Hey, Matt. And it's been hot and humid. And the first 2 days, I went to Pennsylvania picking up hydraulic cylinders and stuff like that and taking them and dropping them off. And then the rest of the week, everybody left for sort of a vacation, I guess you would say. And so I stayed in the house as much as possible where the air conditioning was.
Yeah.
And except for today was decent and I had different people coming in.
Well, that's good.
And
Got any honey today?
yeah, I did. I sold let's see, I think I sold 3 pounds today. I've been selling a bunch of 3-pounders here recently. So Kim, she pulled honey yesterday and extracted today the first time this year. Well, that's good. And so how much honey did you get, Kim? Or did you pull it all completely off or not? Or are you just getting started? Yeah, yeah, Clay, I am too. I'm tired of sweating too. Today was one of them days that you felt like going out and actually doing something.
Yeah.
Hey, Ed, where it's like, all right, I feel so good. I could go out and treat my bees and stuff like that, or anything really. And Chris is spinning honey out in Central Ohio. That's good.
That's a good job. Nice, sticky, nasty job.
Keith says that today was a 5-shirt day. I'm sure.
Yeah, it was. I mean, this morning it started out great. It was in the 70s. It stayed in the 70s for until about 11 o'clock when it started heating up. And then it just went crazy after that.
Yeah. And Michael, he wants to come in later, maybe chat with you.
Yeah, you're right, Clay. It is a sticky business.
It's 85. Well, it's about, what is it here? I don't even know what it is. It says it's very humid. I don't think it is at all. But so anyway, I've been looking at weather, looking at it's supposed to be in a 90 Sunday. Today, the high today was 83. Well, that's the wrong one. I like to go to I'll go on my phone. It's a lot easier. Get the local weather. I don't know. It says 85 today, 90 tomorrow, and then it's 85, 84, 87. And then next Thursday, it's 92, 94. And I'm like,
I'm looking at humidity. Humidity is going to be way up there. I don't know. Sunday still looks like a good day. Sunday morning, Sunday afternoon.
See, this is 87%. I don't know whether it's. I mean, you're looking at the Weather Channel thing.
Yeah.
See, right now it's 78 degrees.
Yeah.
And it's low. I don't know.
I'm still leaning towards putting treatment on the 20th.
When?
On the 20th. That morning. Between 8 and 9, because it's going to be in the 70s that morning.
Right.
And it's not going to get real hot. It's that day. It's supposed to be high of 89.
Yeah, when I see here locally, it says 90. Of course, it's only a degree difference.
Yeah. And then Monday is not supposed to be that bad either. And then Tuesday, let me find it again. There it is. Tuesday.
Hey, B, for real. Glad you're back.
It's going to be a fairly good day. It's the highs in the low 80s and 70s.
Well, that's what it is all next week, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. All
Yeah,
the way out
it's
to
60s
Thursday.
at night.
So that's
It's
why I
good.
was figuring maybe I'll go out there tomorrow. I think I'm gonna put 35 grams in
Yeah.
and let it go at that. And um then what I was gonna tell you, do the 35 grams and see how the weather goes
Yeah.
and that kind of stuff. And do it that way. So
Yeah.
oh, I know what it was. I got a few I got 3 hives there where I just put a queen in because they were queenless. And I'm like, okay, I don't need to treat them with this stuff right now because they've been broodless.
Mm-hmm.
So there's no need to retreat them, you know. So, and also it might compromise the queen being introduced. So they've been papered in since last Sunday, I think it was.
Yeah.
So papered in, I'm sure that they're all together by now. But I would treat the ones that have had a queen for a while
Yeah.
and not treat those with Apricard. And my nukes, I'm not sure what to do with them. You know, some people say, oh, you can't treat them with Formic Pro. I said, I used to put a strip in them, but my nukes are either double deeps or most of my nukes right now are triple mediums.
Yeah. I mean, as long as you've got 6 covered frames of bees, you're good.
I would say,
But you got to beware if you're going to do it this time of year with Formic Pro. You got to be aware.
I wouldn't do it. I'm not doing it this time of year. Usually,
Yeah, you got to be aware of your temperatures and your humidity.
well, that's why I do Formic in September.
Yeah. So
LBA convention in Pineville. You'll have to let me know what LBA means. B for B.
Louisiana Beekeepers Association.
Okay.
Maybe, I don't know. I'm just
The only ones, if that's where it's at. Good. Hey there, Sandy.
Oh, 21st Bee. Did you get your application into Nobby? Or as a vendor?
He wanted to talk to you tonight.
Yeah, I know.
I would say for B for real, Cajun Homestead, he would possibly go into that. You know. Yes, he did. Hey, Chad.
Hey, Chad.
No, I mean, what I was getting at is I don't know whether I would put Apricard at 12 grams or 20 grams or what.
Well, I'm going to roll the dice next on Sunday, the 20th, and see what I can come up with. So
Dinah says it's going to rain Monday. Well, Dinah, I'm going to put my stuff on either Sunday or Saturday.
yeah,
I'm gonna roll the dice, even though I'm going to have a spike in temperature on Sunday. I'm going to put them.
you going to do it in the middle of the day? You're going to do it in the morning?
And that won't be in the morning; it'll be in the afternoon, or in that evening. Kyle's got a question here. What's the last day of the year you would make a split?
July 1st.
Yeah, I wouldn't
Unless it's an emergency. Even then, you're going to end up feeding them most of the winter, because unless you get a real good fall flow.
We only got a week and a piece.
Yeah.
To an August. Yeah, it's kind of late. I got some nukes out there right now. I got one, it's a single medium, and I'm feeding right now.
Yeah, I
And
didn't.
she's got a queen. She is laying, but the brood is doesn't have a lot of jelly about it because of nectar flow.
Yep.
So I've been feeding. They've been getting feed here for the last week or more, actually. Now I've got time where I guess what I'm saying is I will make sure that they don't run out of feed and all
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, I kind of shot myself in the foot the other day. I had to do a split. So
Danny here says had good luck with 3 applications of 16 to 17 grams of Apricard on 5/5 deep nukes.
yeah, that's 10 frames. So you had 6 frames of bees. So you did the right thing.
All right, Danny, that's a good idea.
Yeah.
I'm just, I'm wondering, normally I'm Aprivard everything, and that doesn't work anymore.
No.
Absolutely doesn't work. I mean, I've been tested by the government and it doesn't work. 17 grams. How did you get that? How did you come up with that? That's
Yeah, really. How'd you come up with 16 to 17 grams?
any calculations behind that, Danny?
Unless he was thinking he was cutting 1 and 2. You know what I mean?
Total was 50 grams.
Yeah. Total of 50.
Times 16 times 3, I guess.
Yeah.
It's 48.
That's 48. That's close.
Or 17 times 3, 51. So
It's on the syringe. Oh, yeah.
yeah, I get it now. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just wondering, would 25 grams be? Well, I know somebody was saying 12 grams, and I guess that was for a single deep. I just don't. And all that. I get, so he's getting 50 grams.
Where your total treatment should be 100 grams for a regular hive. So if you're doing a nuke and it's 5/5, that's 10 frames of bees. That's a single deep.
Yeah, but I think when they're calling a nuke, and this stuff is five frames, period. And that
Right.
was what Greg Burns did. He did 12 grams or something like that, or maybe 10, and he burned his hives right up.
Yeah, he did.
That's what he was telling me on that one show and all that. So I say that it's always to be kind of it might be a vertical single brood box.
Yeah.
You can always underdose. If you overdose, you'll burn them out. Yeah, that's right, Todd.
Yep.
So
It's better to underdose in some cases than it is to overdose.
yeah, hey Phil.
Hey, Phil.
Yeah, I would agree with that. And all. I mean, I'm just looking at. I got pretty much 15 boxes of bees. Or 15 frame, 15 mediums. I would be maybe 20 grams. Or do like he says, 17.
Yeah, 16 or 17. Do 2 16s and a 17. That gets you 49.
You can do 17, get 51.
Yeah.
And, well, you got to remember it's a smaller structure.
Right.
So, and all that. Hey, Dan.
Dan, how you doing?
And, I think I'll say that your kill ratio would be just about the same, maybe.
Yeah, because of the tighter quarters. Yeah.
Tighter quarters is what I'm getting at.
Yep.
I'm glad that there's Darren.
Hey, Darren.
Go back to, was it Tom was talking about that?
What?
About the 17 grams is his first name. Tom Nolan.
Let's see.
Danny.
Yeah.
Danny Newberg.
Yep.
Yeah, I like that idea. Yep. Let's see. I'm doing OA. Dinah is. Yeah, I don't know. I just don't do formic at this time of year. I always kind of wait till September. That's been my treatment program for the last several years. That the April guard is totally new to me. And I don't know. Like I say, today when I walked outside, I'm like, yeah, man, this is perfect. I feel like confident that I could put stuff into the hive.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I want to go out there hopefully tomorrow afternoon. I'm doing good beekeeping, gardening, and check the queens and all that. So update on my queen rearing. I did my last graft here a couple of weeks ago. I had 28 cells out of 30 that were capped. I thought some of them were a little iffy because I didn't see a whole lot of jelly in there. And so I put them in the incubator, put them back in the hive here last Sunday, I guess it was. I pulled them out Tuesday, and I had one that wasn't developed, and one, I don't think there was anything in there that I can remember. And one of them, I helped several of them out of the cocoon. And the one that came out of the cocoon, it was lethargic and kind of limping around. And I just said, I don't know whether it'd be worth putting her in the thing here anyway. So I pinched her. So I got 25 of them out there.
That's not bad.
So I had either had 25 or 26.
But still, 25 or 26 this time of year, that's pretty good.
Yeah, for what I told you I had a bunch of old bees in there making queens too.
Yeah.
Now, Danny, that was another question I had about this stuff. You know, you have high heat, and then some people like Dinah, she talked about putting in insulation in the top of the hive to keep the sun heat from cooking the hive. Or should you have a little bit of ventilation when you put AprilGuard in? What's your experience? You usually do it in the fall or the spring anyway.
Who, me?
Yeah.
What, AprilGuard? AprilGuard's in August. And then Formic Pro is spring and fall.
All right, but what I'm getting, April guard, Danny said something about jacking the lid up a little bit.
Nope. Nope. They don't get any extra ventilation at all.
Would you put any, to keep the heat down, would you put insulation board up top there?
You can to keep the heat down, yeah. And that keeps it from flashing off on a real hot day or a real humid day.
Right. That's what I was thinking. Well, maybe put my inch and a half winter insulation on top of my inner cover.
Yeah, you could do that. That works.
That was something I was on another chit chat, or it was a club meeting Tuesday night, went Wednesday night, and it was a Zoom person was zooming in talking about pesticides and stuff like that. But there was the folks in the classroom itself, and they were talking, you could hear them talking amongst themselves, and they were so worried about the bees bearding. And I'm like, yeah, why? And I went out there 2 days ago, I guess it was, and they were bearding, and not tremendously, but a good amount.
That's natural.
And then I went out there yesterday, and it was hot and humid in the tractor, and looked, and there was no bearding. Everybody was inside the hive, in the house.
Right.
When they kind of stay in the house when it's hot and humid, and they don't wait. They kind of go out about 3 o'clock in the afternoon when it gets. Yeah, Diane. I mean, I used a condensing hive. I'm just wondering whether or not it would keep the heat from the sun, that 90-degree day, it would keep it a little bit cooler in there with April guard on, where it wouldn't off gas as quickly.
Yeah, I mean, that's a good, you can do that. That helps. I mean, you can put some heat insulation up there.
I mean, the way I work my things, like right now, there's some blocks in my inner cover, which jacks that telly up ever so much just to kind of give it a slight airflow.
Yeah.
And I was thinking to myself, well, if you have a insulation board up there, it's going to block the heat from penetrating down into the hive.
Yep.
And then, of course, when you're running this stuff, you're going to have full entrance wide open, and you're supposed to have, what is it, the coroplast board underneath your screen bottom board put in and all that. So that might be some things I'll be doing tomorrow afternoon, is taking my coroplast boards and kind of scraping them and getting them cleaned up and stuff. Yeah, Clay found a queenless hive.
Yep. That's what I was looking at.
And then, Todd, you're out there in California. I think you have put insulation on the top of your hives because of the excessive heat from the sun out there.
Yeah, we were talking about that the other night at the local bee club meeting about putting insulation in the top during the hot days, help keep them cooler.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, it works. It'll work, So.
Well, we know that it works because we have it in our own houses and stuff.
Yeah.
And all that. Here comes Phil.
Hey.
How's it going, Mr. Phil?
Going good.
That's good. You're at home tonight.
Tonight, yeah, I got market tomorrow. I'm going to show you guys. I think we're still on a minor flow. We've been getting a ton of rain. So let me see if I can show you. Let's see. See this flower here?
Yeah.
The bees all over it.
Shake it real good. Let's see how many bees are on it, Phil.
Let's see if I can get you one here. There's one right there. There's one.
Oh yeah.
But this stuff blooms after a rain, especially when it's hot and dry.
Yeah.
But it's called ornamental sage, but it blooms all over the high. They use them in the medians all over the place, tollways and all that stuff. So I mean, they're just like there's tons of it around here. But I was out the other evening, maybe Thursday or Wednesday or Thursday, and I thought one of my hives was swarming. So, before I tell you that, when I took the honey off of them, I went through my honeycombs and I picked out the ones that had brood in them, and I separated them out, and then I put a brood frame, medium brood frame, and then an empty frame, and then a brood frame just checkerboarded, and put it right on. Took the queen excluder out and put it right on top of the brood nest, in hopes that they would draw out some comb for me. Maybe if I came back and fed them. So, and then I put the inner cover on, and I put the wet supers on just for them to clean up the ones that hadn't had any brood in. So anyway, I went out last week and I thought one of my colonies was trying to swarm. So the next morning, I went in and just went through them. I didn't find any queen cells. I found the queen right away, but there was like 7 or 8 frames had brood on them still. But what got my attention was that super that was right above the brood nest that was half drawn comb and half empty combs.
Yeah.
That thing had some weight in it, which surprised me.
Huh.
And I hadn't fed them at all. So we're going to market tomorrow, and then we're going down to the farm. I'm going to pull all those honey supers off. Hopefully I get something. I don't count on it. But
No, you never know.
When I get back up here, I'm going to see if they've still got weight. I might give them a few more days before I feed them, and maybe I'll get another bucket of honey off of them. We'll see. But,
yeah, you could. If you're still on a flow, you might get some more.
We've just never had this kind of rain in July before since I've lived here 20 years. It's just a different kind of year. So hopefully, but we need it. I mean, I'm trying to piece together a honey crop just off my few little colonies here at home because the ones down south hadn't done anything.
Well, hey, how's those folks making out that that had that flooded area and all?
Oh, they're just kind of, I think they're still looking for people, but everybody's just licking their wounds and trying to move on.
Yeah,
it's an awful thing.
Well, the thing of it is from what I gather, my son goes out to where that flood was, and because there's some cattle country out there and stuff. Well, anyway, he was saying that your ground out there is like cement because there's no rain most of the time, and it's so hard that it just does not absorb.
Yeah.
He says he'll have signs there that say 18-foot floodwaters, and I'm like, the place is dry as a bone, Yeah. And then when you get that, a hard rain, it just, it just doesn't soak in.
Yeah, yep. It's rocky, and it's kind of a rocky and gravelly. And this is not where I live. Texas has a whole lot of different climates and land formations, but that's what they commonly call the Texas Hill Country. But it's kind of covered.
Not flat, or is it just rolling hills?
It's hilly. Some pretty steep and some pretty big, canyon type drop offs too in there. To where I know my wife's aunt used to live in Wimberley. I guess she still does. She lives with her daughter now, or lives next door to her daughter. But she lived in a place, and it was up on the cliff, but down in the down below her house was a thing called the White River. It's also called the Blanco River, and it's usually knee deep. You can just walk across it. Well, a few years ago, they got a big rain through there, and it washed away. There was only one one family was lost because it just took their house down the middle of the river. But it was nothing like this. But that was like an 18 or 20 foot in an hour, middle of the night kind of event as well. But we drove down there not long after that. You would see, 3-foot diameter oak trees that had been snapped in half and, placed in the top of other trees. It was so those things, and they don't happen very often because the house that washed away was probably 50 or 75 years old. So,
well, it showed on the news there that where the river was after the flood down there, it just happened, and it must have spread out 100 feet. It seemed like, or more, and it was up a hill and everything. I mean, it was to me, it looked like almost like a dam busted, and there was a wall of water just coming down through there.
I think there's something to that, Charlie, because several years ago when I went to a scout camp out in Arizona, they had a flood like that, and one scout had lost his life in that flood. But we were there 1 week after it happened, and the counselors were telling us they lived through it. They said that they would hear the roar of the river coming, and then they would get quiet, and then all of a sudden they would hear what sounded like an explosion, and then it would come again. And what they were thinking was happening was all those trees and debris and all that's built up over the years was creating a dam, and then the water built pressure behind it, and that explosion was it breaking loose, and then it would happen again and again before it finally got to you. But you can imagine when it's bringing 7,500-year-old trees with it.
Yeah,
the kind of
well, that's kind of what happened down there at Ricky's, down there around in the Asheville area, is like it came out and then, like you say, got behind all this brush, and then or maybe a building or a bridge or something like that, and it kind of self-made dam, and then all of a sudden it broke loose, and here's another gush,
and it's got more force, more potential energy built up.
Yeah.
So, Will, did we make it back from the ocean? You have to unmute.
Yep. The beach trip was great. Beautiful weather.
Yeah.
Got away for a couple of days. It was pretty nice.
Cool.
So, but it's all 3 rings of the circus. Trying to get a water pump done in my truck, and not sure what else is going on with my truck, and need to get out with the bees, and going to pull honey soon, and then I'm going to treat.
Did you have a water pump problem while you were down there or back home?
It started on the way back, so I was able to get it home without it being a problem. But I don't know. I was pulling way too heavy with that truck, and one of them deals where you're going up a hill with way too much weight on the back, and you got, your foot on the floorboard, and you're like going 20 miles an hour. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And were you pulling a camper or something?
I was pulling my, I have a 10-ton pintle hitch style flat deck trailer, and I had the skid steer on it, and I had 4 pallets on the front of it. And it's more than my truck can run, but my medium duty truck I don't have on the road yet. And I was just around the house, 5-10 miles is one thing, but this was 30, and it was just, the hill was just, it was a lot, and
this is the truck that we rode in.
And it was probably, so the trailer's 6,000 by itself, and then the skid steer's 8 or 9. And then the colonies, the colonies weren't real big, but I mean, it all adds up, So I was probably rolling down the road 16,000 pounds. Technically my truck's not rated for that, and I had a big hill to go up, and I thought I blew. Those trucks are known for having they'll break a stud in the back the exhaust manifolds, then you'll have an exhaust leak, and I fixed the passenger side, and I thought I did the same thing to the driver's side, but I'm kind of not so sure right now. I might have washed out I'm concerned I might have washed a lifter out of it. So big truck's torn down into a million pieces right now. So
Are you tearing it down or somebody else?
no, I'm tearing it down. And in the meanwhile, coming back, that was right before we went to the shore. So on the way back from the shore, I started to get a water leak. So now I'm putting a water pump on and a new coolant reservoir, and I'm going to tear it down far enough to see if I have, lifter and camshaft damage to fix. So,
or did you blow a head gasket with that water?
Well, no, it's not a head gasket. It is the water pump is starting to weep, and I do have a leak on my coolant reservoir on one of the lines for it. I mean, I know I have that, but I got everything off the front of that truck, and the Rams they're a little bit of a hot mess to change a water pump on. You got to tear the whole front off the motor. Yeah. And I'm 110 millimeter bolt away from having the water pump off. And then I was going to check to see if I had any broken studs or if I had any, check that next piece out. But I'm 110 millimeter nut away. And to get that 110 millimeter nut, I'm going to have to take the whole entire intake off of the truck, all the fuel injection, just, everything off the top now. I got everything off the front. Now it's going to be everything off the top. And I'm like, well, if I'm going to go that far, you basically, pull the valve covers and you got the heads. You know what I mean?
You got a Cummins diesel on that thing?
No, I got the 6.4. I got the big gas motor. I wish I had the Cummins in it, but I didn't want the Cummins the year that I bought that. They were doing too much stuff for the emissions on it. So I got that going on, and I need to run around to some of my colonies and probably throw a second deep on them because they're starting to grow, and then I'm going to be ready to pull honey and treat. So it's all three rings of the circus. Plus, I decided to take a job. So now I'm back to work. So that's a whole nother thing on top of it. So just trying to make my honeybee thing last, but I need another year or two before I can do it full time, I think.
What's happening, Todd?
Not much, Charlie. Your blue curl is in the mail.
That's what I got. Yeah, thank you.
Should be there by Wednesday, I think.
That's fine.
So, yeah. Other than that, not much. I'm going to go out. It's going to cool off here pretty quick. Enough for me to run around and see what's going on. I already know what's going on, but I'm going to make sure I don't have any ant trails, stuff like that. I've got little to none wildflower. And it's because of that commercial guy that's 700 yards away from me. But a nice thing is I saw the blue curl on the sides of the road here around my area starting to bloom. And last weekend, I could smell it. When I got out there in the morning, I could smell just a faint whiff of it. So it's coming.
That's good.
I don't know how much I'm going to get. This guy's not going to move his bees until almond time, at which time I'll call him and I'll say, hey, Max, I don't know if I guess you don't know where I'm at, but I'm, right here. I'm not telling you how, where you could put your bees, but is there any way that you could maybe instead of having 100 boxes there, maybe 50, Yeah. See if he, because I've been there for 8 years. And I saw him last winter park in there. And last year he only had about 40 or 50 boxes there and everything was fine. I made 10 buckets of orange and 8 or 10 buckets of wildflower and, everything was good. But not now. So It is what it is. Now, what was the thing you were asking me earlier about the
Insulation.
installation? I don't do that anymore. Those things make it sweat in there, and so that condensation's dropping down. So I take those out year round. I don't even have them on there anymore, period. And I do way better without them on. But what I do, my lids have feeder holes right dead in the center, and I use bricks to open the opening or close it, shut it off if it's, the robbing and stuff.
Right.
So on a pallet, I got those 4 bricks. I either take like a 4x4 sheet of plywood and put it on there on the bricks, and then there's a gap for them to fly out, or I put lids. Either way, they're getting shade, and there's a breeze that goes underneath the wood, and so the lids or the plywood is taking the brunt of the heat and not the lid of the colony. So it works out pretty good for me in there, but that's all I do.
Yeah, I think I remember Cayman showing that years ago, where he put a double lid on top.
Yeah.
And gave it some ventilation that way, or cooled it that way.
It really does work pretty good. As long as you have, if it's a flat lid, you don't want to lay it right flat on the lid of the colony. You want to have a gap in there so there's airflow.
I think that's what he did. He had a migratory, but he flipped it upside down to where it was setting up on the cleats.
Mm-hmm.
And it kind of made like a breezeway underneath it.
That's what I do with mine, besides the brick being there. But that's how it works. So it does work.
Charlie, anything I have on a bottom board that has a T cover on it, I put 3/4 or 1 inch of that hard foam insulation in there, and I keep that on them all year long. I think it makes a difference, hot or cold, in my opinion.
Well, if I put April guard on, I got an 1.5 inch shim I'm going to put on there.
Yep.
Put the card on, put the inner cover on. And I was thinking put the insulation with a telly on top of that.
Yeah.
And all. But I think right now, I got about a 4 or 5 day window, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. I got at least 4, maybe 5 day window.
You can try and sneak it on.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm gonna try to do it maybe tomorrow evening.
Okay.
Because 90 degrees on Sunday, but the rest of it's 85 or less, and that's daytime temperatures, and in the 70s.
Oh, you're good.
At nighttime.
How did your honey crop turn out, Charlie?
I got 842 pounds.
Is that good or bad?
It's about 160 pounds light.
Okay.
But last year was the first time I ever got 1,000 pounds. Whereas this year, I think it's like, what's his name talked about, the brand new queens, you get the best honey crop out of the fresh queens. And the girl out of Texas stated, 40% reduction in brood rearing the second year out of that same queen, which is huge.
What do you think your average was? Did you do the math on it, or
last year?
This year.
This year, I had some different dinks. I think I had 18 hives, but out of the 18, I might have had some of them were growing. I'll say 16. I'm going to say I probably had somewhere around 14 hives.
Okay.
There was 2 of them I had boosted up to go from nukes to honey hives, and 2 of them, I had a couple of them in there that were giving me problems. So I'm going to say around 14. And
well, that's 60 pounds of hive bud. That's pretty good. My book.
Really good.
Now, did you have pretty much all drawn comb that you were working with in your honey supers?
Yeah.
Okay. That's still the price.
60 pounds. That ain't too bad. I'm about 20 pounds shy per hive.
Yeah, but I think that's great. Man, I'd be singing and dancing if I had.
Oh, I'm not complaining at all. If I didn't think I'd make 500 pounds this year.
Yeah.
Because of all the different issues I had. And I figured if I can get 800, I'd be tickled. And I got 842. So I'm fine.
Yeah.
And all that stuff. So,
boy, those hives that I demo-read are just screaming bee power wise. You know,
Oh, yeah.
That makes that I'm going to try and do more of that next year.
That's like Rick Sutton, I was shocked last year because I got 1,000 pounds and I thought I was going to do 500. Oh, he said, oh no, fresh girls all make you more honey,
Yep.
from a commercial aspect of it. And I'm
Mhm.
like, okay, you're right. Because
Yeah.
they're laying at full blast.
Yep.
And then the second year they knock off 40%. And I say this year, I had a lot of them going down on me, like Brad down in Louisiana, about mid-honey season. Here I got a queenless hive or something like that, a couple of them like that.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking to myself, okay, my rolling demery makes them work harder, so I'm burning them out in a year's time, as far as I'm concerned. So I need to requeen. If I want quality production or best production out of those hives, I need to requeen her every year.
I'm going to make somebody a great deal in the spring because I'm selling every queen I got. Every queen that gets through winter, I'm going to sell their they're an overwintered queen.
And I like that. And now I
I'm
see
gonna
the
sell every one
philosophy.
of them.
People talk about making nukes in the spring. I see why they're making nukes in the spring,
That's
because
right.
they're requeening at the same time. And
Yeah.
I understand the purpose behind that. That's what makes things sense for me, is when I understand the purpose behind it, and all that kind of stuff. And
Doesn't it make sense? That
It
way you
makes
got
all
fresh
kinds of
queens and
sense.
everything. I think.
I've requeened this, this last June to May or June to July time. I've requeened. I got a bunch of 25 queens in there. I got a few 14s left over, but I've been also kicking the ideal around, and it's like I was trying to figure out I always like a plan or a process. All right, my process in, let's say, varroamite, I'm going to do Apricard, Formic Pro in September, oxalic acid throughout the wintertime. Yeah, Mike, I do. Yeah, I got about 24 versions right now, Mike. That's the last of the year. And this year I had issues of trying to get them mated in my mating boxes. So then I was thinking about a lot of other things that I've been doing. I've been buying pollen patties. Well, I didn't see where I benefited much about the pollen patties. And we have a lot of pollen up here. So I'm looking at the money I spend there. Is it financially better for me like next year, should have all my queens should be 2025 come springtime, and they're late 2025 spring or late queens. So I didn't burn them out.
They weren't there for spring buildup.
Right.
Yep.
So they should do well for me, supposedly, next spring. So then my thing of it is I'll demo them, push them through that year. And I'm thinking to myself, well, then instead of me trying to requeen, June, July,
Yep.
why not just let them go through the winter? And then it might be better money ahead for me just to buy 20 queens every spring and just drop them in.
Yeah.
Pull the old ones out, wait 7 days, make sure they're hopelessly queenless, go through them, rip out all the damn queen cells, and then drop that mated queen in there.
Yep. Haters going to hate on it, but I don't know. It seems like the haters are going to hate on it, but it's kind of my plan for the spring.
Yeah, but when I started out, they used to hate the commercial beekeeper all the time. Oh, they're doing this and they're doing that and they're doing this and they're requeening and they're killing the queens and they're all these backyard beekeepers. But you know, are they making a living out of that box? No, it's a pet. And now, after 16 years, and we've got a much better knowledge. Of course, you know, if people would explain things in lectures, but you know, 15 years ago, those lectures were non-existent for the most part, unless it was some local thing.
Yeah.
Now you know why the commercial guy does what he does, because he wants that box of bees to have the highest amount of financial production he can get out of them. Somebody's got the other thing on for some reason. And so that's why he's requeening every year. And then, like, we were watching Brad and different ones were talking about the lady out of Texas. Well, I went and rewatched her video, and 40%, you know, less laying power second year. That's huge. It's almost 50%. You know, maybe some of those bees are 50% less. No wonder they're getting by for the average Joe in the backyard, but they ain't no, you know, that was some of the observations that I did this year. Was like, oh, last year she laid up every hole there was in the bottom of that brood box. And there might have been in the corners, there was where a little bit of pollen was, a little bit of nectar in there. That was it. Everything else was solid brood. And everything had to go upstairs when it came to the honey. This year, she's not laying up every hole in that box. She's got more nectar in there, more so than even pollen. And I'm like, well, that's, you know, she ain't keeping up with the, you know, with the demand, I guess you would call it. Mm-hmm. And you're not getting all the honey staying downstairs instead of going upstairs. And then she's not producing enough foragers to make a box of bees that are going to bring in a lot more honey for you, because you got more workforce.
Mm-hmm.
So
I do think the key in the spring is you got to be careful when you demarree that it's not too cold at night. Yep. You know what I mean? That's one of the big takeaways I have, is you got to make sure that they can stay warm enough when you split them, do a vertical split on them.
It's better to do it a little bit later than to do it too early.
Yeah.
And then, I mean, how many honey boxes are you dropping on them too?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Yep.
I mean, when
I started out with two.
I normally start out, it kind of depends on the weather conditions and what my thoughts are. A lot of times it's just one honey box.
Okay.
And I just put one honey box and everything's pretty tight and close together.
Yep. I'm dropping doubles on them to get started. So, I mean, we all do our own thing. Yep.
Yeah.
Right.
There's not a right way. There's not a wrong way.
Yep.
Well, you know, it's like he's almost heavy duty sideline commercial. He's got a lot of a lot of bees to touch.
Yep.
A lot of boxes to touch.
Yep.
Me, I don't have a lot of boxes. I got 18 boxes now.
Yep.
That's all. That's as many as I'm going to ever have.
Yep.
And then I got 8 nukes. Actually, I only got 7 right now because I had a nuke that was dwindling. Never could get the darn queen to do right. So I just shook him into another nuke box and said to heck with it. I had one of them new 10 framer honeys that I was building up. It went queenless on me. Couldn't get it. It was dwindling and dwindling. So what I did was I condensed it down into, I think, 2 medium boxes, 10 frames. And I had a couple queens in my back pocket that were mated out of my own stock. And I papered that queen into that hive. I wanted that queen, you know, if any hives I don't want shut down, I want my production hives up and running come springtime.
Yep.
And I got the queen on there. I got a juice jar on there. I got another nuke over there that queen's in there, and she's a new queen, but I've got a juice jar on her because she needs nectar to kind of boost up.
What's Benny say, that they'll accept the queen much better when their bellies are full.
Yeah.
So that was a great conversation we had the other day. Thank you for that again.
Oh, no problem.
Really enjoyed that.
I learned a couple new tricks too, so that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
You know what? I'm going to get moving, but before I go, Charlie, you were talking about flash off earlier on the Apiary Guard. My experience here in a dry climate is that let's say I put it on tonight. I go out there in the morning. When I open the door to the pickup, I could smell it. I'm not even near the boxes. So the first 2 to 3 days is what I usually will have as far as a big flash off. And then after that, it slows way down. I mean, when you pop a lid, you can still smell it a little bit, but the first 2-3 days is critical. So that's why I look at the weather. And if I've got 2-3 days under the temps that I want, I don't have a problem putting it in there, even if it gets up to 92 degrees on like day 5, right? Then I have to wait. It's just weather patterns. If it goes to 95, then it drops back down in the 80s. I'll do the second round, and so on and so on. So I just want to let you know that the flash off is, well.
Yeah, well, see, like for me, if I put it in tomorrow evening or tomorrow afternoon, it's going to be in the mid 80s.
Mm-hmm. That's
all
perfect.
right. Next day, they say it's going to be high 80s, maybe a 90-degree day during the daytime, but then back off into the 70s at night. Then after that, for the next 3 or 4 days, it's going to be 85.
That's perfect.
Don't
worry about the nighttime temperature. The only time you have to worry about that is when it gets below 65 or 62 or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
So
I figure right now I got a nice window there.
Yeah.
That I can drop, I'll say 35 grams on and get through till this time next week.
Do 10 days.
Yeah.
10 days with that much. And then
the humidity scares me, Charlie. So you're the guinea pig.
I don't think, it's already humid in the hive anyway. So if it's in the 80s and he throws it in, those bees have that humidity up there, pretty decent amount. So but again, I don't know because I don't have humidity here. I've never had to really deal with it here with Apiary Guard, just the hot temperature itself. So I think when they tested it, I think it was in Florida and it was hot and humid down there.
Okay.
So, yeah. So.
Well, what's the humidity going to be around here, Will?
I haven't looked, but boy, I tell you, buddy, it's been, how it's been.
It's been pretty bad. I wouldn't even think about it.
Soaking t-shirts through 3 times a day and pants twice. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
That's because you're not used to working.
Well, I don't know that I'd say that. I'm used to being in a bee suit, but it's been a rough week.
Yeah.
Yeah. I
get back in the swing of things, man.
Oh yeah. 20,000 steps today. Jeez.
That's a lot.
I don't know how many miles it is, but it's a fair piece.
Well, talk about sweat. I'm going to go out and sweat and do some more checks and see what I don't have. And then I have to pull those strips. I'm going to pull some of those strips off tomorrow, Will. But I'm going to leave them. I'm going to leave them on an extra, probably one more brood cycle. So 3 more weeks.
Yeah.
Due to come
what
out.
Kind of shape they're in when you pull them off. See what you think.
Yeah, I'm going to squeeze them and see if I could draw some liquid out of there, which I remember doing it before with those pads.
Bill, we're talking about the Viroxan strips, by the way.
Yeah.
Right, Tom?
And you know what? That's why I hated those Swedish sponges, because when you tried to pull those off, even doing a check, and you got underneath them with a hive tool and you pry them up, they just disintegrate on you. Yeah. And it was such a mess. These things, they stay in one piece. They don't go anywhere. So I'll check them out. I'll text you tomorrow, Will, and let you know if they're still juicy or not.
Yeah. Bill, how'd your honey crop turn out?
I'll see you guys later.
All right, Todd. Later.
Pretty close to 600.
Is that what you were looking for? Or is that
No, I was looking for about 12, 13.
Okay. What's your average look like?
Huh?
What's your average looking like?
What do you mean?
What's your average
per
honey
hive?
making hive? Yeah.
I don't know.
Okay.
Maybe 50.
Yeah, mine's gonna suck because I'm, drawing comb, but
Yeah. I'm just trying to get stuff cleaned up so I can get feeders in and start feeding.
are you gonna hit them with ProSuite right out the gate?
Yep.
Okay.
So I called this afternoon and checked on that Pro Suite up in Pennsylvania.
Yep.
It's not going to be ready probably till the second week of August.
Oh, okay. That's good info. I dipped your gear last week.
How did it turn out?
I think it looks gorgeous. So, and I bet, and Bill, I've had it sitting in the rain ever since, along with about 60 deeps that I dipped as well. You know what I mean? So,
well, if you really want to do that, I'm going to start advertising it.
yeah, I want to get that stuff down to you in your hands, and then you can figure, you know what I mean? You can evaluate it a little bit and make sure where you want to be. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you just need to tell me when you want to come down to do it.
Yeah, yep. We'll set that up sometime April, May. You know what I mean? Whatever makes sense.
Yeah, we'll get together and talk about a date on that.
Yep.
So I can start getting it out.
We'll get something nailed down now. That way we can plan for it.
So I can get it out there and.
Yep. Date and cost.
Yep.
Yep. That sounds good.
What did I get your attention about, Clay?
I guess about dipping.
Might have. I'm pretty sure it's going to get a lot of people's attention when I advertise that.
That's cool. That's all kinds of value it brings both ways.
Yep, it does.
Now, as far as is Man Lake still going to do Pro Sweeter up there, or are they shutting all that down?
I'll explain to you later.
All right.
Yeah, they closed their what is it? Their
storefront warehouse.
Yeah, they closed
it all. They closed it all. Didn't they?
So that's gone. Their Wilkesboro location's gone totally. Chickens, bees, the whole deal.
Yep.
So.
Yeah, that place that we're talking about. I was talking to him today. I was talking to him about the Pro Suite. He said his business is almost tripled.
Oh, that's going to be a big deal. Has he talked to you pricing wise at all yet?
No.
Yeah.
I asked him the other day when I was up there, and he said he didn't have a price together yet.
Does he have his tanks in?
No.
Yeah, I was going to say he's
putting. He just got the backfill. He's got the walls up to the building. He's got it backfilled. He's pouring concrete, and he's got to let the dirt settle.
Oh yeah.
For 7 days, and then he's going to go in and roll it again, and then he's going to pour the floor, and then he's going to pour the angle on the floor as well. So if anything happens, it all runs out of the building.
Okay.
So then he's going to set the tank. He's got to let the concrete cure 7 days before he can set the tanks.
Yeah, because I think that's where Greg Burns was. He was going to Kentucky because he used to go to Pennsylvania to fill up his totes.
Really?
Yeah.
Holy cow.
That's a long ride.
Charlie or Bill, it's going to be crazy how many people are hitting there for Pro Suite. That's I bet that's going to be off the chart.
Oh, I'm sure it will be. He's going to have a hard time keeping it there.
Yes, I think so.
He'll go through a couple of tankers pretty daggone quick.
Yep. I'm going to, once I get midway into my treatments, I'm going to start throwing thin syrup on earlier than I normally do.
Yeah.
You know, and just I'm gonna hit them with sucrose thin and hard and see if I can draw out some more comb on them yet. And
yep.
I'm telling myself I'm gonna start earlier than I have in the past, feeding them, you know, giving them more time to build up.
Yeah, I know.
Well, it's like I was talking about Clay. He likes the Pro Suite. I like it because I can, you know, right now I'm using Pro Suite. Why? Because I can feed 2 or 3 hives amongst all them hives. They can't smell it.
That's a valid point, without a doubt.
And you can feed those weak hives, and they won't get attacked or anything. And it's
But
great.
see, here's the trick: if you put the apis in it, they can smell it.
I don't want to put the apis in it right now.
Why not? Build them up for the winter. Get them fat and happy. Because I can tell you right now, that's what's going in mine is the apis.
Really?
Yep.
Never really thought about it.
As soon as I get here with the totes, it's going in there.
What are you doing, Phil?
Well, I'm making up some extended release. Extended release. These are my towels. I cut a few of these blue shop towels just to play around and see how they did, but this is the Swedish towels. I was out there messing around in my bee yard, just waiting for my glycerin. Oh, and I'm using glycerin this time, people, not mineral oil. I learned my lesson.
I thought you were melting wax to do something with it.
Yeah, that's what
I
I
saw
thought.
his skin sticking down there, and I thought maybe he was doing a pedicure or manicure or something.
What were you doing out there at the beehives? I see where the bees were walking around and everything else.
Well, I just went out there just to burn time because it's hot as heck in this shop. And then I saw a bunch of them on the ground, and I couldn't figure out what the heck they're doing. And I think they're just so desperate for something. They're just searching everything, getting stuff off the ground. But they were all over a brick, and yeah, they're acting really strange.
Paul says that stuff from Hilco is high fructose corn syrup, and I'm like, yeah, I think so.
Yeah, it is.
I think we discussed that. Nancy bought a thing of that.
Hey, Nancy, have you ever sold that bucket yet?
I just feed the damn stuff.
So, Clay, how much Pro Sweet do you want?
What is it, a 120?
Yeah.
It's at 110 right now. I'm waiting to get to 120 so I can have to start adding the oxalic. When I was pouring that stuff, I was having to hold my breath. I was hoping you guys wouldn't say anything to me. Just a little bit of that oxalic drifts up when you're pouring it.
Got 2 buckets of it.
How much are you offering it for sale, Nancy? No, she's going to use it.
We use it.
I don't know. I'm still hung up about the high fructose corn syrup, man. I know it's good for putting.
Well, to be quite honest with you, Pro Sweet has got part of that in there.
Well, yeah, it's a sucrose fructose mix is what it is. It's a 50-50 mix.
And that's why they don't mix. That's why they have 3 tanks.
Yeah.
I think my understanding is they have high fructose in one, 55.
Sucrose in the other.
Sucrose in the other, and then they have a tank in the middle.
And then he's going to
mix them until.
He's going to blend it. Yeah.
Yep. They don't blend it till they sell it.
Clay, I'll be there tomorrow. You can call me anytime on the store phone. I'll talk to you.
I mean, and there's a lot of guys that just buy high fructose, 55%.
Yeah.
I mean, they buy
all them boys down, all them guys, commercial guys down there in Georgia, they're getting a tanker a week, and sometimes 2 tankers.
Yep, they are.
Yep. They throw them in totes, and then they're good.
Well, like down there where I went down there, they had a tank, and the tanker would come in there, and I forget how many thousands of dollars that is.
Yep.
And then they have a van down there, and they'd have a 250-gallon tote in the back end, and then they fill their pitching, what do you call them? Pitchers, the pour, water, where when they're out there, let's say pulling queens, they got a pitcher.
Oh, like a flower.
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah.
That ain't what the heck you call
That's just convenient to hit those little feeders with.
Yeah.
Well, they got the plastic ones with that, the ones like the gas stations used to have.
Yeah.
You can pour water down into the radiator.
Yeah.
They'll fill up all those little teeny feeders with that stuff, and then drop another cell in and all that kind of thing.
Full bellies accept better than empties. Yep.
Yeah.
One thing I didn't get a picture. They done it before I could get a picture of it. Is they had like one of them mini making highs full of beetles. They dumped them beetles out there on the pine straw, and they took a match to it and a torch, and they torched them beetles right there. I was like, "What are you doing?" He said, "Oh, we're cooking beetles."
Did we talk about it? That they're saying that the beetles, when they're in larvae stage, that if you can keep your humidity down below like 55 or 50 or something like that, that it will actually kill those larvae, the hive beetle larvae. Was that on here?
I never heard that.
Yeah, if you store if you store whatever, frames with brood or drawn, that if you can keep your if you can put them in, I think it's less than 55% humidity. If you can draw it down to less than 55%, it'll start killing the larvae out.
Yeah, they were saying it could desiccate the eggs.
Yeah.
Yep.
Mhm.
So, Clay, are you in the antique business?
Yeah, he is.
Oh, he's got stores, right?
Yeah.
Stores?
Stores
Or a store.
Stores or a store, yeah.
Is antique still a thing? I mean,
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
most young people.
That's how he makes his living, I believe.
Yep. He's retired from Frito-Lay.
Clay, I'm giving a presentation to Frito-Lay in Plano on
So you're going to chip it right away, huh?
20th of August. I still haven't worked on my presentation yet.
You
What are you
sound
gonna
like
do,
me.
present 'em?
You sound like me, Phil.
If it wasn't for the last minute, nothing would get done.
Exactly.
I'm going to do. I'm just going to do an overview. I'm going to do a little bit of history, a little bit of hive types, and then a little bit of bee management.
Yeah.
Yeah, Paul. There's no down there in Louisiana. There's no humidity. Never gets below. Maybe in the middle of the winter when you have 2 weeks of winter.
Yeah. Somebody on Marketplace, Charlie, you were talking. Remember when we were talking about those queen mating boxes that you saw down in Georgia? Somebody up in, I think it was New York, was selling a pile of them, and they were set up feeder in the middle. You know what I mean? It was just a small box with a half frames. Now it was none of it was used. It was all, or I'm sorry, none of it was new. It was all used stuff. But they were, they had a nice slew of them for sale. But I don't know, not spending money on that.
Well, it's like, yeah, Nancy. Yeah, you're right. That's what I was getting at, Nancy. Today's generation, they are not interested in what our parents. The people who are looking at antiques. Well, I grew up with that. I want that to remind me of my youth.
Yeah.
Well, what is antique is like the new generation is like it doesn't mean anything to them.
No, they don't want to know about it.
No, flat irons and old curling irons and all that stuff.
Yep, no value. Yep,
that's no value to them at all.
Yep,
and all that stuff. And all that, but I was going to say something here. What was it? Well, antiques and vintage is the same thing, right?
Yeah, it is. Same thing.
Yeah, vintage. Yeah, vintage Atari games.
Yeah.
Or how about Pong? That would be Pong.
Oh yeah. Yep.
Atari had Pong.
Yep. What was it? Missile Command used to be the big thing on Atari. So, Bill, did I see that you had some people in extracting in your kitchen at the store?
Yeah, it was a local club.
Okay.
Yeah.
How'd it work out?
It actually worked out very well. It was
Okay.
Becky's the one that organized it and set it up because she's president.
Yep.
And she did it the right way. She had everybody schedule a time, and she had plenty of help there to help everybody that was coming in. So she did it right. So
Do you get driven crazy getting some of that wax in your wastewater?
no, it's town.
Okay. Okay. So you don't have to worry about gumming up anything. Yep. I'm with you. Okay. Hot water, cold water, rinsing this, rinsing that, how you do it, this, you know what I mean? That's it.
Yeah, my hot water is set, I think, at 165 degrees.
Oh, so it melts it right out.
Yeah. I got a heck of a gas bill every month, though. Tell you what.
I bet.
I wish I could trade that gas bill and get some of that gas back.
Yeah. How's your sunflowers looking?
Almost the whole field's in bloom right now.
So the bees are all over it?
Oh, they are all over it.
That's what we need to see.
Is that a nectar source?
We need to see a whole background there with sunflowers on it.
Well,
is that a pretty good nectar source?
It's a nectar source. It'll get them through a little bit. It's also a pollen source. And
yeah, but it's not a honey nectar source. As far
they
as
can pack it.
You should sell it or not.
They can pack it. It's too late. I've already pulled honey. So this is theirs. But Tom Sossman was telling me that the sunflower pollen helps with varroa control.
Really?
It doesn't do 100% of it, but it helps with it. So something in the pollen that works on it.
Is Tom selling an extractor? Did you see something about that?
Tom who?
Tom
Sossman?
Yeah.
I don't know. I saw something on Facebook. Melissa posted some stuff for sale.
Yeah.
And I had thought about calling him for one of the other things, but by the time I got around to doing it, I think it was too late.
Yeah, a Cajun. Yeah, Brad. Mine can lift from the front for sure. That was the first lift I did. Those big tall hives behind me there, that was a rotten hive stand. And I put straps around 3 mediums to keep it all together. And then I just lifted them up and then sat them out on a medium super box and then grabbed the second one, just left it on the machine. Now, coming in from the side, yes, it can come in from the side. I've never tried it, but it does. The arms do have areas where you can slide them in and out. I keep them all the way close because I'm coming up from the back or from the front. So as far as I know, that if you're buying one like that, like mine, that's what you would want to tell Boris on an email, that you're going to lift it from the side or the back of a 10 frame hive. I got a friend of mine. He's looking at maybe a B1 where he's moving hives by hand. And I'm like, don't you even have one of them 2-man lifters? No. I'm like, and then he goes down a hill into his sliding door basement with honey super. I said, what do you do? Carry 1 box at a time? Yeah. I'm like, wow, grab that sucker and you get about 4 or 5 boxes at a time and take it on down there, get with that style lifter. He's figuring on making the plunge. Well, just taking, like I say, email Boris that, hey, tell him what size box you're running and that you want to be able to lift it from the back end and from the side. And most of people like Brad and Ian and all them, if you look at it, they're double pallets. They're lifting from the side all the time.
I wonder if he would make one to fit in an L hive to come in from the side.
I'm sure he could, as long as you got handles for those things to go into.
Yeah, there's a handle. They're offset, but there's 2 handles on each box.
On each end.
Yeah, on each end. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, when it came to me writing Boris up there, I said, look, he knew Brad, he knew James, and I said, I'm going to use 10 frame boxes of lifting from the front or the back of the box, I said. And what else did I say? I would want a wider wheelbase. And I think it was 2 feet wide is what the overall width was. And he, made a cut a wider bar and stuff. It's been good. And then I think I talked to Brad. He said, I think his daughter, he's Russian, so he doesn't command English that good. I think the daughter did a lot of the writing and stuff. So I bought it, and I think about 2 or 3 weeks later, it's here. I know that Glade out in Utah, he just got a B1. I think it's coming up on his video. I seen the box, and I said, oh, you got a B3. No, you're close, though. I said that, and then I remember he was looking at Joey's, so he likes the Joey model. So, but the only problem with Joey's model, it is like a hand truck, and you have to get up tight to that box, and you have to use your electric to lift every time. Mine, I raise up my arms, and I kind of go in and grab the box, and I just push down, and it's kind of a teeter-totter on those wheels, and it lifts as long as you crack the boxes first. That was a learning curve there. But I think they're great. And like say my friend in Pennsylvania, I told him, I said, if you're moving bees from here, there, different yards, he doesn't let them sit there in the wintertime because there's too much airflow. I said, that would be the greatest way. And then I said, if you're pulling 40 supers, man, stacks a bunch of supers up on the tree. He's got a trailer with a gate, a grass cutter gate. You can just walk that thing right up into that thing like Joey does. Set them supers off. Don't have to pull all that weight. Hey, Grayson.
I got to put mine together yet. I'm hoping to go in and pick the honey supers off of them, and then maybe drop another super on to see if I can get it drawn, when I pull.
Yeah.
This late in the year, about drawn?
Yeah, I'm going to feed them. You know what I mean? I'm going to throw thin syrup on them. Yeah, I'm not, Charlie, I ain't expecting much, but if I get anything, it's a bonus. You know what I mean?
Well, I'll tell you what, if you're putting thin syrup on them, there's a lot of people here, especially local to me, that are feeding a thin, that's not quite 1-to-1. It's a little less than 1-to-1.
Yeah, a little less than 1-to-1. Yeah.
Yep. Their bees are drawing comb out like crazy.
Yep. I got to draw all the comb I can.
Yep.
I'm tired of paying the tariff on that as far as with the bees and costing me honey production. So if I stop growing, if I settle, then I won't be paying that tariff, right?
Yeah. Tariff is the word of the day.
Well, when you do what is it, 1/2 to 1 or something like that?
1.5 water to 1, I think, is like the best thin sucrose.
Yeah. Sugar water.
For drawing. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I keep, like I was telling you.
See, I like to, I understand what the wording means, but when it comes to the formula, it's like, all right, I can tell you, I want to make 40 gallons of 2-to-1. Yep. I am going to put 20 gallons of water in, and I'm going to put 250 pounds of sugar in.
Yep.
Yeah. And it's not quite 2-to-1, but it's close. That's about as good as my pump can pump.
Well, that's about as thick as you can mix it.
Yeah. So then I have to look at my notes here. I think for 1-to-1, it was like 20 gallons of 20 or
I'd have to pull it up on the calculator.
I think it's 20 gallons of water to a cup of sugar to a cup of water. There's 8 cups of water. Was it 4 cups? 8 cups to a gallon, right? Or is it 16 cups to a gallon?
I think it's 8.
8.
Hey, Bill, just
Yeah.
to twist everybody's head around. Have you ever looked at or used those simple Harmony Farms uncappers? It's 2 sets of rollers that have blades on them.
Yep.
And then they have rubber bands on them that you can push them down in and pull them up, and it just scores them enough that you can put them in the extractor.
Yeah.
I saw your buddy John's doing some deal on them, and I think his are heated. But have you ever looked at them or dealt with them or moved the simple Harmony Farms uncappers?
I've looked at them. They're expensive, even for
like
me to
$400
buy as even at a wholesale price. They're expensive.
Okay.
Unless you are really wanting something to uncap quick and fast, which
And
most
dirty.
of your hobby beekeepers aren't looking for that, because they'll sit there with that roller or an uncapping knife, and they just want the experience of doing it, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
But unless you really want to, because a lot of it you have to hit it twice.
Oh, yep. I believe that.
I can tell you right now, the guy that I'm telling you about that wants this new B1 lifter, he had one. It's gone.
Yeah.
And when he bought it, I says, "Why are you buying that?" I said, "It takes multiple passes up and down,
Okay.
in order to get it. And then you still don't get all the little cells opened up. And it looks like to me, you left more honey in the cells."
Yep. Because you have to go back and take that pick and get in the corners.
Yep.
And it creates a lot of wax waste in your honey, in the extractor, and you've got to strain it again. So
a lot of my combs all over the place sometimes. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I just kind of.
Yeah, for 1-to-1 for 40 gallons, it's 25 gallons of water and 200 pounds of sugar.
Yeah.
Making about 41 gallons is what I wrote down. And I would say about 25 gallons of water and about 150 pounds of sugar would probably be even thinner.
I'd go drop it down to 100 pounds of sugar.
100 pounds of sugar.
Yeah. Because if 1-to-1 is 200 pounds, 1 to 100, 40 gallons of water and 100 pounds of sugar would be 1 to a half.
Yeah.
Now,
Thin
Paul
would be nice right now.
Paul Hale says the darn thing will clog the screens quick.
It does.
And then if you look at Mike Berry's video where he had that clarifier and all that stuff, and I looked at his cappings.
Yep.
And it's like he had that serrated knife, and that serrated knife is like a darn sawmill saw. You're chewing that wax out in bits.
Yeah.
Well, when I tried to do that, I'd roll the wax right off the plastic foundation.
Yeah.
You know what I
Well,
mean?
see, my question is why are you using a knife? Why
Yeah.
aren't you using a hot knife?
Yep.
And then I look at what I do, which I bought a guy out. He had 2 hot knives and a planer. And I started using that hot planer, and it comes off of there in sheets at the thickness of a paper towel.
Is the planer thick enough that you can do the top and bottom bar and just drag it straight across, or do you have to?
Well, now I do it. They show going across all the way the length of the medium frame. I don't do it that way. I stick it up here like that, and I cross it like this.
Okay.
About 4 times, and that planer, like, I don't use a pick, a uncapping fork. I never used one at all this year.
Mm-hmm.
And if you got wax and it's kind of like it's got a divot in it, where it's kind of like low here and then it kind of pops up fat, that thing will follow if you go across the frame, it will follow the contour.
Yeah, because I want to
Okay.
leave. I want to leave the wax behind that I can. Right.
Well, you're only cutting, like I say, fitting.
You only got to get the cappings off.
Just
Yeah, exactly.
we're talking a paper towel thickness. That ain't much.
Yeah, that's not
You ever
much at
notice
all.
any of them automatic machines? They're sawing off a quarter of an inch. It
Or the
seems
chain
like,
uncappers, they're just shredding.
man, they
everything.
are shredding the shit out of it.
Oh yeah,
Yep.
that's. I
No, like I say, now I've been doing 9 frame. It seems like to me that the frame is fatter. Comes Michael. The frame is fatter all the way from the top bar down to the bottom bar. It's about the same thickness. So down here where it's thin, it's out farther.
Yep.
And I can just go like 4 times and I'm done. I usually pull it, I dump because that thing kind of comes out like that. And
Yeah, it's got the curve on it, and it all on that, and that capping just rolls up in that curve.
Yeah, and that curve.
Yeah.
Do you have a thermostat on your planer, Charlie, or is it just you plug it in and go?
Paul from Saskatchewan told me to get this router.
Oh, really? And you just cut it right in
for your hand router.
Yeah,
It's got full blast juice, or you got variable speed.
I like that.
And I'll turn it on full blast to get it up hot, and then when it gets good and hot, and sometimes you'll notice that it starts to sizzle a little bit.
Well,
and
that
then
starts
I'll flip
burning.
it over.
Yeah.
I'll flip it over to variable speed, and I have that dial up right. It's got yellow, or I don't know what it is, white, green, and red. And I'm right at the green and red line. Somewhere's right in that area there where you can get it to where it kind of keeps it at a certain heat that it doesn't put a wax film over your honey.
Yeah. If I like that, that's a good idea. I could put I don't know if it's a rheostat or what it is, but I could cut it right into the core of the thing. Because I like being able to tweak the thermostat, because otherwise sometimes it gets so hot they burn. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Well, if it gets too hot, it'll caramelize the honey on that blade, that copper blade, and then it won't cut diddly squat.
Okay.
So I got that that regulator that he told me to get off of Amazon, and it was like $20 or whatever it was.
Yeah.
And I use that all the time now. So, Michael, how's South Carolina other than being hotter and all get out?
Hot and humid.
Tiring. I'm dragging butt out here.
Any interest in your products down that way?
Yeah. I've almost sold out already, so I'm gonna have a bunch of mad people tomorrow.
Hey,
and
that's
have
great.
Sell them.
That's great.
And, you know,
Did Bob Walker stop by and chew your ear off?
Not
No?
yet.
I haven't
No.
seen him. Well,
No.
today's what, Friday? I think he's off on Saturdays, maybe.
Yeah, there's a lot of people that'll be new tomorrow that'll come by and see what's going on. But yeah, I'm dragging out here between the time change and already short on sleep from work. It's got me all screwed up. So yeah, it's different. It's very hit and miss out here. I'm at the very back end of a haul, so when I do get people, they come in a little burst, and then every time I'm trying not to fall asleep. So it's just how it goes.
Yeah, well, at least it's doing good for you as far as the show go.
Yeah.
And all.
So there, Cayman and his group are doing something different this year with vendors. They had such a response of vendors this year. They're putting people on a waiting list.
Yeah. Yeah, I saw where they only have the same size hall as last year because of the other 2 shows going on.
Yep.
So they've got like a third of the dock space, and they've had even more demand. So they're really cramming. You know, there's going to be a good long wait list, I guess.
And you know they're charging for storage space this year.
Yeah, I went ahead and signed up. I could have got my confirmation. Now, when I'm out of town, I usually don't check my work email. I just ignore it. I just put up an autoresponder. So,
yeah, I got mine today.
Yeah.
And they haven't sent contracts out yet. But as soon as they send the contracts out, they want you to send your logo. They want the payment right then. And they want you to arrange for electricity, whatever you're going to need at that time instead of waiting.
Yeah, that's make it easier on them logistically to get it all figured out.
Yep.
running.
Yeah, they're
So what are
full-time.
you saying, that he's trying to maintain the size of the vendor area, just that size, and let it go at that?
This year, yes.
Yeah, they ended up having 2 other shows in the convention center at the same time. So
Oh,
there is
really?
no more option for more room. It is what it is.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
They didn't have a
Oh,
choice.
okay. Now we're gonna have 2 different.
There's like a home and garden show on one side and something else on the other. So we're gonna have 2 other shows to share vendor parking with and guest parking with, and it's gonna be a lot more crowded.
Yep. So
That
you
was
have to get there
that was one
early
thing.
in the morning.
That was
Yeah.
one thing that was nice last year, was being that time frame. Nobody
Mhm.
else was doing a show.
Yep.
You could drive out through that building and everything else. It was crazy.
Now
Now
the
you can drive in again this year.
Okay.
But they are going to charge for vendor parking again. So, I mean,
Yeah.
that was a major point of contention with some of the vendors last year, was
Pay
vendor
for
parking.
vendor
paying for
parking?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Everybody had to pay coming in. Yep.
Yeah.
And you could get a 2-day pass or something, or
And if you have a small booth, you can't be there until the morning of the 8th. Anything 10 by 20 and smaller,
Yeah.
you set up on the 8th. Anything 10 by 20 and larger, you have to set up on the 7th. So
I do like being able to drive into the building right in front of your booth and unload. That's nice.
it was
Yep.
huge.
You might have to wait 2 or 3 hours to get your turn in line, but still, it's better than like what I did yesterday, pushing carts back and forth 10 minutes one way in the heat and humidity. And
yeah,
I did 5 carts that way. It took me an hour to unload just to push stuff to my booth.
That was great last year, Bill, the way it worked out. I pulled in and unloaded my stuff, and you had my frames, and I threw them right in the back, and that was great.
Mhm.
So I think this coming year, instead of renting a lot of storage space, I'm going to take my big trailer down there, and I'm going to use my big trailer for storage space. And if you want, if you ordered something, it's going to be in the trailer. It's not going to be in the vendor hall.
Okay.
I may have screwed up because so I signed up for, like last year I did a 10 by 20. This year I was going to pull a trailer down. Then I started thinking, well, hell, I may just ship pallet, do some pre-orders. And then I was like, well, if I'm going to pay for storage, I might as well just pay for a bigger booth and make my storage like part of my booth display and just sell out of it.
Yep.
So
That's what I'm doing.
I got a 10 by 30. But now talking to some dealers and people, I could have a couple of vendors there, and I'm not going to do sales and undercut my vendors. So now I may not need the extra space at all. So I'm kind of up in the air. I really don't know what I'm going to do yet. I may have to wait and see if Chris will let me cancel and give a 10-foot space back to somebody else who could use it. Or, I'm just going to have to wait and see. At the moment, I'm signed up for 10 by 30, but I might not need that extra 10 foot. So,
I've got 6 booth space.
Yeah, if they're going to be that cramped, I don't want to take a 10-foot space from some little vendor that, I don't actually have to get one more person in there.
Yeah, I'd signed up for, when I signed up for the booth spaces that I wanted, I sent Chris an email. I said I want an end cap because I want 3 on each. So it's
30 by
60 by 20
or 60. Yeah.
60 by 20. It's as wide as the row and 3 booth spaces deep. So it's 30 feet on each side.
Yeah, 30 by 20. If it's 6 of them.
Yes, my knobby specials are already up on my website. The only way you can get it is to go on my website and go to the knobby pre-order page on my website. That's the only way you can get those prices.
Okay.
So you're not going to have any show specials. It's all pre-order special only.
It's all pre-order specials. Now, extractors, by the time I get down there, I will have a newer line of extractors, which are going to be the economy extractors, but they're made just as well as the Sawmill extractors. And they're going to be on sale, and hopefully I can sell a few of them down there.
That'd be good. I've had a lot of people getting a hold of me saying, I want to get more, but I'm going to wait till I'm at Nobby to pick them up. And they're talking 10, 15 boxes a piece. But if I have other people there carrying them, I'm not going to be shipping that kind of quantity down there. I might not even bring anything pre-ordered, depending on who's there and who's bringing them themselves to sell through their stores. So I'm really kind of up in the air right now. I really don't have a plan. I'm just kind of no man's land. I'll figure it out as I go, I guess.
So Bill, you're showing a bunch of stuff out of stock on your Nobby specials.
Mm-hmm.
So they're gone.
What's showing is out of stock?
Your deep frames and your medium frames.
They shouldn't be out of stock. They should be in stock.
Your plastic, double dip plastic.
Hang on a minute.
Put your fingers in your ears. A 20 frame for $875.
Uh-huh.
And then what is that? Is that a rotary, like a?
It's a radial extractor. And then I also have a G-Max G20. That's a horizontal.
Yeah.
For
2,500.
I think that's 2,500.
And that spins them instead of radial this way. That spins them this way.
Spins them this way, just like a commercial extractor.
I guess Nancy's saying your Formic's showing out of stock too.
What, in the store? Should be no Formic on the.
Oh, I don't know. I was just reading the comments. I have no idea where at.
Yeah, I didn't see on your Nobby special any Formic.
Let me take care of the
But yeah, Bill, I gotta wrap my head around. I think I'm gonna, instead of doing all plastic, I'm gonna do wooden plastic. So I gotta wrap my head around that.
Because they shouldn't be showing out of stock. No. Edit. Huh? Oh, I know.
Are you looking for any help manning your booth this year, Bill?
I've got 2 people that are going down with us.
Okay.
I may need some help.
Okay.
So what other glitches are you seeing on that page, Will? Any?
Your 9-inch double dip plastic frames out of stock on your Nobby pricing. That's it then.
And Nancy was saying Formic Pro.
I don't see Formic on your Nobby special.
No, it's on regular page.
Okay.
Yeah, she said no, not Expo Special, just your normal stuff.
You're
Yeah,
better at multitasking than me.
Well, I'll catch y'all. I haven't seen you on the screen in a while. I'll catch you up on some of the new stuff I've been dealing with the last few weeks. Just eat up some time.
Been interesting, huh?
Well, so remember one of the last times I talked to you, Bill, about needing to get a hot knife to do a video, and you're telling me about, be careful because it'll boil your honey. And
yep.
Oh yeah, I got to experience that. Talk about cooking honey. Jeez.
Stinks, doesn't it?
It cooked, it bowed, it went. I did a couple frames and went, the hell with this.
Yeah, we learned 2 years ago with the plastic frames, if you get the hot knife too hot and you get it too close to the frame, it will melt the frame.
See, now my frames were fine. It was more of it just boiling my honey. So I took my knife and I could sit it on my frame and rub it all around, and it didn't do anything to it. But just talk about cooking honey and wax running off. Then
burning it, caramelizing it.
My knife itself is what bowed. My knife got a big curve in the center of it.
Wow.
I was trying to clean some of the melted goo off of it. So I took a wet rag and I rubbed it and I hit it probably in the dead center and made a cold spot and it warped it. So I'm just going to plug it up and lay it on a frame and just put a counter on it and just see how many minutes it takes to melt it. Yeah. Just because I don't care if I ever use that knife again.
There you go.
So yeah, that was a failure trying to make a video showing that with them. I'm just going to show it, not melting anything basically.
Yeah.
Oh, so I've been keeping you up to date on that Hive 365 I had out in the yard.
Yeah.
You should have been in my yard to see how mad I got when I was doing my pulling frame for extracting. Oh, my neighbors! I'm glad there's no kids outside. I lost it. I mean, I was, it's 100 degrees outside. I'm in a jacket. I've been out there for hours. I'm sweating. Oh man.
I got to get you. I've got to send you an Enel hive.
No.
You need to try that.
So I was going to take a couple medium supers off, and I'm sure you get these emails too from the overseas suppliers with it's like 80 pages long of everything
Yep.
trying to get by them. So
Yep.
you can look in there and you can see who's getting what from where.
Yep.
And my hive obviously doesn't have enough UV protecting in it because it's fading like crazy everywhere and breaking down.
All of them are.
Yeah.
They're
So
cheap. It's cheap junk, is what it is.
well, so you should have saw that. I took my hive tool, stuck in a corner to go break the box loose, and you go underneath the box and you pry and it breaks the seal up. I went in and pried and it just went crushed on all the corners. They just caved.
Oh.
The only way to get that off, I had to take every single frame out of the box, work my tool all the way around over and over, and I finally just grabbed the handles and jerked as hard as I could and broke the empty box off.
Wow.
So it took me about a good 10 minutes to get my super off. And after I broke it off, if you were there, you could have saw me say some choice words and chunk the box itself.
You
Then
should have filmed
pick it
it.
back up to put the frames back in to carry it to the house.
You should have filmed it.
So yeah, I've got it all back together, but I've got crushing corners. They just gave. Like I'm gonna work my stuff out of it and cycle it back out and just get rid of it or something.
We're doing shipping Sunday. I'll have Becky send you an Enel kit.
So yeah, I don't know the last time I got that mad beekeeping. Just I lost it.
I'm not laughing at you. I'm laughing with you.
I was like, okay, one defective corner. I went to the next corner, and that's about when I lost it. So the super underneath it, I didn't even try. I just left it on. And it's like, what? Forget it. Deal with it later.
That would have been a good video. You know that, right?
I had that going on, yeah. Let's see, what else have I got going on? Yeah, I got the whole knobby confusion. I'm not sure what I'm doing with that. Oh, I've got the pain in my butt that won't go away. So a few weeks ago, if anybody that follows my site probably saw where I posted about it. So I came in a bunch of boxes to try out and run through his lines. And he was doing a video and he came across a few of my small cell frames just by chance. And when he went in them, he found he had 2 or 3 frames that were warped. And so when we started running our small cells, the very first ones we put in a machine, we hadn't worked all the kinks out yet. So I had like 20 boxes worth. We realized, all right, working is going to be a problem. So we had to buy some other machinery and adjust some cooling. We fixed it. And I was going back through the boxes and just taking all the bad ones out and just regrinding them and chunking them. So we took him some samples before I was letting them out to anybody, just to sample. And my dad was the one who was supposed to have gone through and checked them for straightness as he was running through the waxer because I was busy. And apparently he missed like 3 frames. So now.
And guess who ended up with those 3 frames?
Amy found all 3.
And I think it's my own fault for not double checking, but they ended up in his video with like 15,000 views in like a day. So now people were thinking that they're warping in his hive, even though I put an explanation, saying, it was from the initial manufacturing. It was our screw up. If anybody finds a warped one by chance, tell me and I'll send you new and extras. Just it's my screw up. I had somebody at the conference today come by and say, hey, my friend of mine, they've really researched these. They love everything about them. But he said the only downside is they might tend to warp in your boxes.
Oh, no.
And I noticed that video came out over when I was doing the website launch. About 3 hours after that video came out, I didn't get another order for a week. So I'm assuming it's because people saw it. And you know, once you get so many comments, you're not going to read through all the comments on a video.
Yeah.
So I doubt hardly anybody saw my explanation or my offer to replace anything. If they found anything, you know, I've had lots of people message me saying, "Oh no, you know, mine are fine, everything's great," because I know what batch it was and we went through them, but like we missed like that handful, of course, to that one person on that one video.
Yep.
So I've got that little bug that keeps following me, asking questions about, well, how long does it take before they warp in your box? Just
Isn't social media great?
Isn't it,
you know, once I explained to them what it was, they're like, "Oh, that makes sense." You know, yeah, I get it. But
That's like Cayman had.
It's followed me all the way out here. So.
Yeah.
Cayman had that science guy on there and talking about he was, you know, talking down OA vaporizing and all that kind of stuff. And somebody I know that makes vaporizers called, "What the heck are you doing to me?" My vaporizer sales went kaput.
Yep.
You know,
I think it's my own fault for not double checking, but still, it just sucks. You know.
Yep.
So I've had that lingering, following me around, trying to clean that mess up. Yeah, I don't know. I'm just dragging, trying to catch up.
Tommy got here. Well, guys, it's about
yeah. I'm having problems finding dealers. Everybody's either too small and has no room for inventory, or they're too big and want 60% margins. So there's nothing in between. So that's another thing I'm chasing right now. So that's been my life in a nutshell for a couple of weeks. Good times.
Yeah.
So
it'll get better. It'll get a lot better.
You got to live through some of that so you can appreciate when it's good, right?
Oh,
Exactly.
By the time it all works out and everything's perfect, that's right when it's time for heart attack.
Yep.
So
only if you let it.
That's right. You got to let it get to you first.
Yeah.
You're young and strong, though.
Young.
You're younger than I am.
I'm 44.
Yeah, you're younger than all the rest of us, bud.
Hey, I'm 44, but I got the physical joints and body of like an 80-year-old. So
don't go there.
Yeah.
You're younger. You're younger and probably in better shape than the other three of us on this show.
Yeah.
You'd be surprised. Man.
Come on.
Yeah, that's all I've got going on. So nothing interesting. Just lots of little screw ups left and right.
Tomorrow's the PA State beekeepers picnic up in Del Grosso's. It's going to be up at Del Grosso's. It's like an amusement park up here. Don't worry, Charlie. It's like 2 hours and 20 minutes from me. Out above.
Where's that?
It's out towards Altoona. Out above Altoona, I believe.
Oh man, that is up there.
Del Grosso's, yeah.
Yeah.
Last year it was at Knoebels, and that was great. You know what I mean? So I've never been to Del Grosso's, so I'm curious to see what that's like. Hopefully the weather's not too bad for us.
Right. Well, everyone, it's about 10 o'clock. I got 10 more seconds to go here for 2 hours. And
Clay, you give me a call next week and let me know what day you want to come. And I'll make arrangements to meet you there. So.
All right. Well, everyone, good. Have a great week and weekend, and hopefully you get everything done you want to get done. And we'll see you on Monday night on Bill's program at 8 o'clock Eastern Standard. Bees all day. And we'll be back here next Friday. So
Night,
until
everybody.
then, we'll see y'all later.
Yeah. Good night.